Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Present Danger. Hold on while I fix my camera. There we go, there we go, there we go. My name is JB, and I am the host. Here alongside of me are my two co hosts. We have the beautiful, the fantastic, the wonderful Tig. I always do Tyler.
Desperately getting drunk over the last week.
I was like, I still have food in my mouth, so please don't come to
Yeah,
me first.
please no, please no.
I should
We are
have.
well
I
prepared for
absolutely
this.
should
I
have.
am drinking my way through the week. That is my decision. It is perfectly
Listen,
healthy. You all
live
can
your
fuck
best
off.
life.
Hi everybody. I'm Tikhan Dayok. I am another co-host of this wonderful channel, and you can find me at Tikhan1 on all of my socials. But yeah, I'm fucking. It's been a week. It's been 84 years.
Listen, this week has been a lot. Like, let's just keep it 100.
It's
Sorry, I'm trying to
it's been a
get my new
mess.
little things all set up because, now that I've moved my desk.
The light of the seventh sun coming out of the corner of the screen.
First of all,
And to break Tyler up before he takes another bite of food, let's give Tyler his thing.
yes, and guys, we also have the beautiful, the talented, the lovely, part of my royal court, if you know,
The
you know.
hungry.
Did you say the hoover?
The hungry.
The hungry. We have, oh, it's just, okay, fine. Wait, maybe I can turn
It's
this
just a
down.
light. Tyler, go
Tyler,
for it.
tell the
Hello,
people.
everyone. I am Tyler Thulin. Happy Lunar New Year. It is the first day of Lunar New Year. I got this cute little shirt.
You got it. It is very cute.
Such a cute shirt. I love it.
I saw it on
Um,
Amazon and I was like, you are coming home with me.
Meanwhile,
Well,
Yeah,
you were
listen, we're just.
eating
I
chocolate
love your
chips.
shirt. I'm not nearly as cool as the rest of you.
PG Master Translator. Yes.
yeah. RPG Master Translator.
I'm
Or
not nearly
yeah,
as cool as the
RPG
rest of
Master
you.
Translator.
It's fine.
Mine
I won't.
says,
Are you
let's have
sure?
fun.
I
but
want it
don't get mad at
recommended.
Hey, Mason, how are you? Welcome. Mason's always
What's
here
up,
hanging out with
Mason?
us.
Mason.
So,
I should probably pull that up.
so listen, we are in week 2 of the Trump presidency part duel. And
Boy,
I think it's safe to
part
say that
douche.
it's not going great.
It's
I mean,
bad.
most sequels don't. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's things are going. Things are happening.
They definitely try
I
to
think the
throw
writers
things
need to strike
at the
now.
screen harder, and it's a big old turd. It just doesn't stick right.
Yeah, it's So we're gonna try to do a lightning uh, recap
Oh,
of the things
Jesus.
that have happened this week.
You want me to
Uh,
you want me to go? I will be stealing this from TikTok, but I've got a list.
yeah,
Ugh.
go for the list, and then go do your list. What you
Yeah,
got?
I'll do the quick list to fill in some of it, and then we'll kind of go from there. Ice rates have been beginning all across the country. Prices are skyrocketing because of all the people that are being removed from things. Bird flu is running around rampant. We pulled out of the WHO, and the CDC has been told to basically shut up and not say anything. They've also removed a lot of trans rights. Trans people in the military, trans people don't exist because they put in an executive order that states that there are man and woman, two genders recognized in federal employment based on conception. We'll get back to that in a minute. There have been DEI rollbacks across the entire country. They pardoned the January Sixers. Yes, they took the quality time to discern who was a violent offender and who was just a trespasser. Wait, no, they didn't. They just pardoned all 1,600 of them, including the fucking shaman basically saying, I'm free now. Thanks, Trump. I'm going to go get a gun. Yeah, that guy fucking needs a gun.
Yeah, also one of
Part
them
of the
just died on this over the weekend.
Oh yeah, he ended up getting shot by a cop
By a
because
cop.
he decided to challenge him while getting pulled over because he had been pardoned. So obviously he could do whatever he wanted because that's literally what some of them think. We'll come back to some of that. Part of the roundups, and I will call them roundups, they are also picking up indigenous people and moving them around the country and
I
Holy
hadn't heard
fuck.
about that one.
Mason, that's
oh Yeah, sorry, Mason just alerted us to something that just popped up, and we'll come to that here in just a second because I need to finish this list or we'll never get through it. Indigenous people. They're rounding up indigenous people as part of the finding out if people are documented or not. And they're actually trying to claim that people in Native Americans, the indigenous people of the United States, are not American citizens. They are part of their individual places and can be removed back to them. Yes, you heard that correct.
That's great. I know how many Cherokees
Elon-
really want to go back to North Carolina.
Oh. Yeah, it's well, let's say go back to their native land, i.e., the reservations. Elon decided to wave hi to everybody in a very Heil way.
That's
Some
my
states
pulpit
are
moment.
trying to get.
That's my pulpit moment.
That-
Let's not get too far into it.
I ain't going too far into it. We're just rolling through it. The next one was you threw me off with that, but not the DEI rollbacks. It was we pulled out of the Paris climate agreements. Some states are already challenging same-sex marriage. Elon, there are some states that are also trying to get the death penalty for having an abortion. God, what else is there?
Don't forget
Only two genders.
don't forget the illegal to masturbate, or I mean ejaculate without and except for times when it's meant to be for fertilization.
Yeah, that's actually a joke bill. It's not serious. It was a Democrat that put it up to talk about. Go ahead.
They brought it up as a discussion. I'm just rolling through all of the different ones that are there. Trump has already mentioned, and other people have mentioned, that he is really would hope to find a way to run for a third term. And people are also saying that, hey, why not just let him, keep running? He ended birthright citizenship, or attempted to. We'll get into that, but he ended birthright citizenship in one of his executive orders. That's literally an amendment to the Constitution, which obviously we'll get into it. Questioning citizens, the indigenous people. They've shut down numerous websites and links to various things. They put a freeze on all government spending in the grants and so forth, which they said would not affect Medicaid, Medicare, Early Start or Head Start, and numerous other things, and yet several states literally could not get access to the website to be issuing out the government money, which means, yes, it did affect it. They flat out lied to us and then have tried to ease it back, but haven't done a great job at it. He fired 17 inspectors general, also somewhat illegally, because technically they have to get the 30-day notice. He can fire them, but he has to give them a 30-day notice as well as a written list of reasons why they are being removed. Let's see what else.
Abolishing the EEOC.
Yes, abolishing the EEOC. Trying to figure out if there's anything else major. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's more and more things that
Removing all protected classes.
Yes, pulling all protected classes. Did you guys hear about the one that was apparently pushed out to the intelligence agencies, where they are putting a hold on recognizing all major not what is the name of the thing? They're putting a hold on all major pause on special emphasis. That's what it was called. Did you hear about that one?
No, I did not. I have a couple of addendums, but keep going.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it back up again so I can read the exact thing. So, it is a pause on special emphasis programs. What does that mean? So, special emphasis programs was pushed out to the Defense Intelligence Agency. The agency is working internally and with the department to implement the executive orders ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing and initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions dated 2025. January 2025.
You mean
We are
like
receiving
CISPA?
questions, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. I'll read the list of some of the things. We'll pause all activities and events related to agency special emphasis programs effective immediately until further notice. Additionally, special observances hosted throughout the year by the command element, directorates, and special offices are also paused. These include observances related to the following: January. This will not affect, there is a thing, but the pause will not affect the federal holidays. January, Martin Luther King Day, not affected. February, Black History Month will not be recognized. March, Women's History Month will not be recognized. May, Holocaust Day, Day of Remembrance will not be recognized or celebrated, whatever the word is, emphasis programs for it. May, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, not recognized. June, Pride will not be recognized. August, Women's Equality Day will not be recognized. September 15th through October 15th, National Hispanic Heritage Month will not be recognized. October, National Disability Employment Awareness Month will not be recognized. November, National American Indian Heritage Month will not be recognized. We'll also pause agency resource groups, affinity groups, and employee networking groups effective immediately until further notice.
Okay.
That's it. I'm going to call it done on that terrifying note.
All right. So, couple of things. They did walk back all of the freezes today because people freaked out. They basically put out a memo that said we're rescinding those, rescinding all of that stuff. No, sorry. It's a bit of thing that they've been doing where they try this really shitty, horrible thing, and then all of a sudden,
Mason's one note does need to be mentioned. He announced that he wanted Egypt to take all 1 million Palestinians from the Gaza Strip.
Yes.
That was one other note. He
Yes.
wants to deport people from another country.
I was getting there.
Sorry. I saw that and was like, ugh. In my huge list, I forgot.
There's so many things going on. Basically, here's the deal. Like, after you put all of that out, like what this is shock and awe. This is shock and awe. This is them literally saying, okay, listen, if we do so many things, then people aren't going to be able to, like, they'll shut down. Which is what happens. It's like, it's too much, we shut down, we stop paying attention, because it's all bad, and there's nothing that we can do about it. That being said, it is our job to not shut down. Like, now is the time that we need to be paying attention to everything and holding people accountable for all of the things that they do. If you don't like it, say something about it. Tell someone. Get out in the streets, bitch, fight, do all of those things. It's because that's what this is. All of these executive orders are designed to be as horrible as possible so that people can be horrified at what it is that the government is doing, what it is that the Trump administration is doing, and then we shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, the entire
I think
goal
there's two
behind
pieces
this
to that, though, and
is
we
to
saw
overwhelm.
this with the TikTok ban, in that they go and do something. Basically, they're trying to see what the limits are of acceptance politically with the population.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
if they
this
do
is
something
a test.
and we don't say anything about it, that is implied consent.
Correct.
Or if we do say something, but we care so much about something else that we're willing to not focus on this other one, they can slide through. They're trying to measure reaction for it with this blanket firing of things against a wall.
Yeah.
But the sole purpose of trying to figure out how we're going to be like freaked out about some stuff, but annoyed at others. Because the annoyed ones, they can push that through and then come back for the fight for the other things. He's getting challenged on numerous things. He's also probably testing the courts, honestly. He's testing the courts to see where he can start implementing things, because the way our fantastic judicial system is set up is mind-bogglingly stupid at certain points. Because if you're going to start implementing some of these things, you don't implement them in California and the whichever circuit court that group is, or in that appellate court, because they regularly side on a more liberal bias.
Right.
versus Texas, which will be like, hell yeah, we're going that way.
We're gonna
And
have
they'll
on the
just keep
libs. They're
pushing
on
it
the
through.
libs.
In order
Which, by
to
giving the
establish precedence.
precedent, yeah, which by giving the precedent and it finally getting to the Supreme Court could just say, well, we just like what they did, so we're going to let it go and
Right.
not take up the case, which means that previous appellate case stands. That will be the law of the land. And it offers the Supreme Court to act like they're not getting involved in things when every fucking person in the country is going to be like, pick that one up, pick that one, pick that one.
Yeah.
Why are you picking up at parking meters in Washington, D.C. a problem? Pick up the one about immigrants.
So
And that's going to be a way to try to push things through and test the different ways that he can get stuff to work.
So there's a couple of ones that I want to kind of focus on of all of the craziness. The first thing is the defining gender as being either a man or a woman without any any non-binaries. Also, that it's determined at conception. Let me just go ahead and say something for those people who don't know. When conception happens, we're all the same gender, like we're all women, we're all female. It is not until later on in the pregnancy that your gene for your gender is expressed. So basically, we're all transgender, like everybody on this call, because we were women.
Except hilariously females.
Except
Like
for
hilariously
If you
females
were
are
assigned
just
female at birth, or if you were assigned,
We all lesbians.
it is what it is. Like, but to me, I think the
The
thing
real
about
question
that.
is, do you have an innie or an outie?
So
I knew
it's
you were going
funny.
to find a way to put that in there.
And talking to some friends that I found out were Trump supporters. We won't get into it. It's a thing. It's fine. I said, talking about trans people's right to exist, and they didn't understand what I meant by that. This is what I mean. While you saying there are two genders that are assigned at conception, stupid as that sounds to us, what it is saying is that these people do not have a right to exist. They don't have a right to live their lives fully and honestly and be happy. And that is the worst part of all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is you are telling these people that their very existence is wrong.
Yeah.
Is a lie.
And that to me is terrible. Now there are other things that are terrible, and we're about to pay the price of it all because it is what, like, literally and figuratively. But to me, that is the worst because these are people who exist. They are human beings, and you are saying these human beings are not real. They don't. Their issues and the things that they are going through are not real, and it is easy for us when we dehumanize people. It is easy to commit atrocities to them because we do not see them as human.
Yeah.
And
it's
hold on, let me finish. And for my log cabin Republicans and people who and women and people of color, if you don't think that it's going to happen to you, if they're able to do the things that they say they're going to do, then I have one thing. You are wrong. They have no compunction on doing it for you. The fact that Elon Musk, who I'm calling to the pulpit right now because I need to get it out before I forget, that did the full Sig Heil in front of the presidential symbol of the United States.
multiple times.
Broadcasted on national television.
Twice. And you can
Both
say
directions.
Huh?
I said, yeah, both directions.
Both directions.
Yeah.
The fact that he felt comfortable enough to do that on national television in front of the presidential symbol of the United States says we have made a grave error.
Yeah.
If you know anything about people like to talk about, oh, Elon Musk he's a billionaire genius, he's all of these things and all of that stuff. No, first of all, Elon Musk came from money, from apartheid South Africa, a fascist is who he is.
Yeah.
And it is completely ignorant to me the fact that and after Republicans and conservatives spent so much time tying themselves in knots, tying themselves, trying to figure out how to justify what they saw, to tell us that what we saw, what our eyes saw, isn't real. For him to then go and speak at it at the German, essentially the German Nazi Party, and tell them you shouldn't be ashamed of your past, and that people need to get over it, and we need to get past the Holocaust in the Third Reich. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
doubling
I want to
that.
hear what Ben Shapiro has to say about all that.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
So I saw a clip of Ben Shapiro, and he said that all of us are being ridiculous, and that he loves the Jews, and him and Elon Musk even went to Germany and went to Auschwitz, and
And it was amazing.
and
Ben Shapiro was there recognizing everything. Elon Musk was taking notes. It was great.
and what is
Yeah, I'm sure they were examining the craftsmanship.
Hmm.
and but the thing is what he fails to talk about is the reason that he went to Jerusalem and went to Auschwitz is because he had previously said shitty things about the Jewish population before, and they caught him on it.
Hmm.
And the fact that he is that close to the president, although he's not as close as he used to be because they didn't put him out.
Yeah.
The fact that he has had the president's ear, like birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like this is we're seeing this happen in real time, and watching people that we cared about, that we loved, that we had respect for at one time, literally go down this rabbit hole of like fuckery, and we can't stop them because they know the cognitive dissonance that they have will not allow them to be able to say I was wrong.
Yeah. And that's the real trouble behind it is they've pushed themselves so far down that rabbit hole that if they were to try to swing it around and see the chaos that is happening from the actual light of day, not the rabbit hole that they find themselves in, it would break their world.
Yeah.
And they're too scared to say they're wrong, because if they're wrong, then it's fundamentally wrong. It wasn't just I fucked up a little bit and I gotta fix this. I have broken the state of my character and my personhood, and I will not be able to recover my sense of self.
Yep.
And that's scary as fuck to them.
And it's sad. Like,
But also,
go ahead.
it's a matter of if they're wrong and what they also believe is wrong, then what is reality and what is the truth?
It is a full challenge to their sense of reality.
If
And
they've been
like,
Mason, you hit the nail on the head. If they're wrong, then they've been wrong all their lives.
and it's not just this one time,
Yeah.
it's all of the stuff that's happened before. I mean, you can go back through all the Rush Limbaughs and all the other shit from way back in the day that they were listening to that led them down this path. And they have to go, have I been wrong for 30 years?
Yes, you have.
Yes, dipshit, you have.
And another thing, Matt Mason hit nail on the head. COVID proved they died before they would admit they're wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yep.
and it's sad to see, like I said, to see people that we love and we care about and we respect go down this path and know there's nothing that you can do. You just have to let them go down it. They have to learn that the stove is hot. And the problem that I've been having is I didn't touch the stove, but I'm gonna get burned.
Yeah. We were even waving and screaming the stove is hot, and people just continued to like, ooh, psst, Your hand is burning. Do
Now
you
your
see
hand
your
is
hand?
burning. No,
Do you
it's not.
smell your
False
hand
news.
burning?
My hand's not burning.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm making bacon with your fingers, you idiot.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more like this. It's more like, no, those experts that said that this isn't what your hand's supposed to feel like, they
Wrong.
were lying to you.
Yeah. They're
Because this is the
ones that are
natural
wrong.
way. Your hand's supposed to be on fire and it's supposed to be melting right now.
God
That
put
smell
this
that you're
fire in my
smelling,
hand.
that is cleansing you and helping make you a better person.
But
we really not ready
hellfire
to
is
have that
cleansing.
conversation because I'm not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah.
God put this fire in my hand, so it's supposed to burn.
Yeah. And I think the thing that we all need to understand and other people need to understand is the shock and awe of all of this has had pretty much everybody, anyone who understands anything about it and have been trying to tell people about this fucking fire that's breaking out is like, hey, this is going to catch fire. Hey, you really need to pay attention. This is going to catch fire. We can't just do that. And the thing that annoys the shit out of me is the response has been to just continue to say, well, he's a fascist. Well, he's this. Well, he's that. And these are bad things that he's doing. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? Members of Congress, hello. You say this is bad stuff. What are you doing to stop it? Why aren't you having some of your not 70-year-old members standing on the House floor and filibustering every single thing that comes to the floor for the next 2 years? Why aren't you making this a lame duck session by just holding them accountable? And when they try to force it through, challenge them on the fact that they're forcing it through. Or if they try to put it in an omnibus spending bill, then fucking tell them no. They did it to you. Just stand there and stare at them. Be like, no, we're not voting for this. No, we're not voting for this. We refuse to vote for it. In fact, we're going to stand here for as long as we can to make sure you can't vote for it. Do something. Start the fundraising now in all of the counties that you guys, or all of the counties, all the districts that you guys think you have a chance at winning. Start putting boots to the ground and getting people out to go spread the word. Go get challengers who are actually reasonable challengers. If you know it's not a decently progressive option, at least get a fucking Democrat in the seat. Put reasonable people up to challenge people who are lackluster at best. Put people in place that can actually start the process now. Show us, the people who give a shit about the burning going on, that there's going to be a chance, not 4 years from now, but 2 years from now, whenever you can retake seats in the House and the Senate. There isn't a super majority. It's not like they get to do whatever the fuck they want. They've all kowtowed to Trump, but it doesn't mean that the 5 seats, whatever it is, difference isn't insurmountable. Just run fucking candidates that can win and take over the space. Because if you do that, then the Constitution allows you to stall him out for 2 years. Start it now. Start the fight now. Stop just being like, well, he's a terrible person. You said that for 3.5 years whenever he said he was going to run again. He's in the White House. He has the House. He has the Senate. And he sure as fuck still has that bankrupt moral Supreme Court. So start the process. Do something, guys. That's something that annoys the hell out of me. It's something that if people really understood the fact that this is a Republican push, but there seems to be such a gentle, like, they're not holding the line, they're gently letting stuff happen. That seems to me what's going on is like, oh, well, they're terrible. Look at how terrible they are. We're just going to use this in 2 years to prove you're terrible. You did that. How well did that fucking work? You literally said we have a prosecutor against a felon. They elected the felon. Find a way to connect with the base. Find a way to connect with the people who give a fuck about this country. Because if you don't, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter how fascist he is. Because he's going to want to do that anyway.
Some strategically placed free donut boxes laced with laxatives could help derail some of the Republican votes if congressional Democrats were more mischievous and creative. Listen.
And you
They're
aren't
wearing
wrong,
diapers
Mason.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not wrong, Mason. But the real problem is they're not doing that. Democrats have always thought we'll take the high road. Fucking don't.
Yeah,
Get into the mud.
the high
Get
road
into the
ain't the high
dirt.
road didn't work for us. So
Bury
Okay,
bury their face in the mud you're gonna fight in. Don't stand on some high ground as they just dig a trench under you and have you fall into it like an asshole.
and also, I think we need to, not I think we need to get out of this mindset of it will never happen, or that can't happen, or they won't let that happen, and get in the mindset of preparedness.
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
had they actually put a bill in to I don't know, amend the Constitution or whatever to say that felons can't hold office, we never would have been in this fucking situation to begin with.
right.
Yeah.
But as
There's
soon as
100
he
different
announced
ways they
this,
could have done it.
and as soon as there was that talk and everything like that, that set those gears in motion. Had you done it immediately after he left office, immediately,
When they,
Yep.
I mean, and we had a majority, and we had at that point we literally
Well,
they could fill it
and just
filibuster everything.
held all these January Sixers to the fire and done what they should have done during Reconstruction.
But
Quite
here's
honestly,
the thing
Yeah.
that the Republicans did that makes everything that we just said moot. In the Senate rules package, there is no filibuster.
yeah, they blocked the filibuster option in the rules package to prevent the opportunity for them to actually stall things out. You are right.
Yeah. So, Tyler, what you're
Are these-
saying is absolutely true. The problem is that even though
Mason made my comment for me. Sorry. I was going to say that. I was going to say it's like they don't want to pass something that says felons cannot serve, because you'd actually have to look at Congress and be like, wow, we got to replace half of you.
yeah, and let's get it. Okay, so let's get into these confirmation hearings. I watched. So I watched Pete Hegseth. I watched Pam Bondi's, and then today I watched Robert F. Kennedy's. And let me tell you,
oh my,
there is a thread that is running through this that I'm not sure that anybody is catching. And that
was she related to Ted Bundy?
No, not Bundy. Bondi, Bondi.
Oh, okay.
The thread that is going through all of these is every single one of them has said, I serve at the pleasure of the president. It is my job to carry out his agenda.
Yeah.
No, every time someone asked if you could, if
I mean, that blonde bitch wouldn't even say that.
none of them said it. Not
She
a
said it is
single
my.
one.
She said it's my job to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah. And the thing that is kind of what it's telling me is that they know the marching orders are whatever he wants, you give it to him. And this is a thin-skinned, like, sensitive man-child.
Complete with diaper.
Right now, but with what happened with Colombia, not Colombia, was it Colombia? I think so. Where he tried to send the the immigrants back to Colombia in a military plane, and they were like, "We're not taking them."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I'm going to put 50% tariffs on you. Fine, I'm going to do it for you on you too. Is this the game you want to play? We can do this."
Yeah.
And and then I think, where is it that there is a military base? It's not Grenada.
Guantanamo.
No, it's
Guantanamo Bay.
It's not Guantanamo. It's in South America. but there is a base there that the U.S. government does not pay for. Like, and that country was like, hey, we've given y'all this, and y'all don't pay for it. So if you mess with my cousin over here, we're gonna have to charge you.
Yeah,
You have to
You know
find
what
a
I'm
new
saying?
base.
I know which one you're talking about.
And so all of this stuff is happening, and the entire world is looking at us and laughing. Did you know that he said Spain was a country? He thought
Yeah, he
Spain
did.
was the S in BRICS.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
And he said it at the
Full
in the
chest.
Oval Office.
Full chest.
And they were complaining about Obama giving the Queen an an iPad I iPod.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, to reference why I said Guantanamo, because I thought this is where you're going. Um, Trump directed the Pentagon to begin to prepare migrant housing at Guantanamo Bay for thousands of people.
And it's
You know, um,
We're building a concentration camp.
yep.
and we were talking about, or I mean, they've been talking about human trafficking and blaming the Biden administration for human trafficking and all these Democrats for human trafficking, and yet under Trump's watch, thousands of children disappeared.
Mhm.
Disappeared.
Actually,
We
they're
don't
blaming that on
know
Biden now.
where they are.
They blame that on Biden now. As a
Of
matter of
course, they are
fact,
blaming it on him,
no.
but
As a matter of fact, today at Robert F. Kennedy's hearing, they mentioned those missing children, and Robert F. Kennedy literally said, "The Biden administration lost them. We will find them."
Right.
yeah, sure.
And you're right, Mason. Don Jr.'s Book of Sugar was, in fact, in jeopardy. Things were not looking
Yeah.
good for that habit. But that's what happens when
There,
you like to sniff soda in your nose. I meant Coke.
somebody brought up another point about immigrants and deportations. Until they are deported, they are held in detainment facilities. And one of the things that can be utilized is in the detainment facilities, because it is treated similarly to prisons, is some of those detainee facilities are private, so they're for profit, and they have the ability to utilize their detainees
For labor.
for labor. So
A work
we're
camp.
setting up work camps as well as concentration camps, because God knows you put 10 to 20,000 people in Guantanamo Bay, there's going to be disease. There, you can't it is going to be bad.
How
And
else are we going to be able to make goods so cheap stateside if we don't have free labor?
yeah.
If we're going to
Oh,
compete
you
with
can make
China,
a face. We might as well call it what it is.
No, I'm making the face because I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
You didn't
no,
think
that's
about
what it
that?
is. That's why people
I was
are
going to
talking
say
about the
slave
fact that
labor,
it's
but
that.
yeah,
Yeah, we're trying to be respectful. You are black, but the point being, it will be free labor. They will force them to do it, and similarly to what they do in certain prisons, they'll pay them because they're required to pay them for the work.
yeah, like 17
A
cents.
dollar a day, yeah, $1 a day, and they'll charge you $12 for a toothbrush.
Yep.
So, but we're providing housing and food for them. They should like it because
Meanwhile,
at least they had housing and food. We've heard those
some white dude is
same
getting rich off
excuses
them.
before. Yeah,
So-
we've heard those same excuses before.
I forgot where I was going with that.
Sorry, we just took you down a dark path.
You did. You took me down.
Well, I mean, they wanted to bring back the Roaring Twenties, and I think they've set a great plan to do so. Look at Henry Ford.
For those that are unaware of what that reference was, Henry Ford was a big supporter of the Nazi Party.
He also had immigrants that he would give a job, give a house, and everything, and then basically
he owned them.
Yeah.
It's quite literally the mining companies.
Let's be real, because I know where people are going to go. I know, especially people on the right are going to, if we say that out loud, it's going to be there's a thing, like, you can own someone without purchasing them. And here's what I mean by that. If you go to a person and you say to them, I'm going to be the person who provides everything for you. I'm going to be the person that has your housing, your clothes, I'm giving you your food, I do this, and all you have to do is work for me. And you have no other option.
It's called financial abuse.
It's financial slavery.
Yes, Mason.
And
that
human
is
trafficking.
inherent in people who want to build cars.
Yeah, it wasn't just Ford. Like, everybody.
Yeah. But, like, what sucks and what's heartbreaking and makes me really angry is it didn't have to be this way.
No.
It literally didn't have to be this way. And there are 3 people who I blame for the where we're at as a country. Number 1 is Ronald Reagan, because fuck Ronald Reagan.
Fuck Ronald Reagan.
I mean, like,
fuck
him. Number 2 is Newt Gingrich.
Yeah.
Because people like to say that we're so divided, and I like to go back and say we're so divided with, Obama was when we got so divided. Clinton is when we got so divided. No, we got divided with Newt Gingrich because he was able to weaponize white fear.
Yeah.
And yes, and by that, the reason that things got so polarized during Obama is because that white fear manifested in hate for this black man who had the nerve and the temerity to become the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
And the backlash, Grover Norquist is another one, and then the backlash from that is Trump.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be this way.
That's something else that is frustrating, and I'm fine with calling them out. All of the people who are like, I'm going to make a stand, I'm going to not vote, or I'm going to vote for third party because I'm going to make a stand against these elites. I'm going to stand against people who didn't want to end a genocide. Do you see what Trump's doing? You think that was a better option? Do you see what he's doing in this country? Do you think that's a better option? We're starting our own form of genocide. This is the start. And you thought that this was the better option than going out and voting? You thought this was the better option than voting third party because your morals said you had to do it? Fuck your stupid morals.
You're complicit.
Idiots. You are a part of this. It is your fault. I blame you more than I blame the Republicans.
Hold on.
If I'm honest, that's how I feel because we all knew this was coming, and you people were like, "Yeah, I'm going to still vote third party because I want to make a stand."
And I have to say this to the Jill Stein voters. Where's Jill Stein now?
Yeah, tucked back in the hole somewhere.
She ain't said nothing since the election. Not a single thing. Y'all ain't got a tweet. Y'all ain't got an Instagram post. Y'all ain't had a carrier pigeon. Not nothing. Not none of it.
I mean,
She
she was
took
just
your
Ross
money and
Perot
ran.
2.0.
Huh?
I said she was just Ross Perot 2.0.
But she took your money and ran.
Again.
Which she does every 4 years. Like clockwork.
And that fucker did it for what? 5, 6 terms?
Yeah.
At least.
And I remember I was watching something and they had a Jill Stein voter on, and someone said, "Why don't you guys start? You know, the president's a lofty goal. Why don't you guys start in your local elections and build your momentum?" And that person said, "We don't do that because we're not going to win. So, you know, if we're not going to waste our money on the little ticket when, the big ticket's right there. You dumb bitch."
Piece of shit. You dumb piece of shit.
Like,
This is the mentality that
Who do you
blows my
think
mind.
this
Is the
started?
idea of like we're gonna build a spaceship to the moon. You have a trash can. What's the plan? How about you just build a basic like 2 foot tall rocket and then we'll go from there. Well, why would we do that? The moon's right there. Are you fucking dumb?
Do you think the neocons just like appeared one day? No. They've been orchestrating this shit for my entire life. And then
30
some.
years.
and
They saw an opportunity, and I'll tell you when that opportunity was. Do you know whenever they first saw their best opportunity? Because they'd started before. Do you know when their best opportunity was?
Yeah, I mean it started in the
that's what I
50s.
think it is.
You might know, JB, but I'm just gonna say it because it's the best. It's the best way to describe it. Their best opportunity was September 12th, 2001.
Oh.
Yeah.
Their best
Actually,
opportunity when they saw
Yeah.
the day
The
after
day
those
after
towers
9/11.
fell, they were like, "We have a chance." People have never been more pissed off at people who aren't us
They orchestrated it.
forever.
well, and
Yeah,
here's
let's not roll down that I have a real point I'm making. But
here's
I'm
where
just saying.
that's the moment. That is the moment. They've been doing it for 30 years before then. They've been doing it since Reagan because obviously all of that was happening. No, I mean like 1980s, 1970s. It was already starting to build. But when the real moment, the catalyst that kicked off everything was September 12th, 2001. More specifically, the day they passed the Patriot Act, which I'd have to go look for, because they saw the opportunity to, one, gain the information they need about all American citizens. Two, they saw the American citizenry united to be like, fuck them, they fucked with our people. And three, we're going to keep that ball rolling for as long as we can. We're going to just keep us in wars, we're going to keep us involved, we're going to keep pushing everyone else the other. And not just everyone else, but everyone here who is other. Because if we can keep that fear going, we can win. And here we are.
and for me, I think I agree with you on that. That's when they saw the opportunity. They pounced on the opportunity, but I really think they saw the opportunity, the Clinton impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. I could agree that was the moment that for them that really started to show that they could start pushing political agenda through the decrepit and immoral Democratic Party. I can see that.
I mean that's when the documents that led up to 9/11 were conceived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't remember the name of the paper, but they had this whole plan of what became the USA Patriot Act, and in it they had said that they would need another event like Pearl Harbor in order to unite the people to accept this bill.
And Mason, I will give you a point with that because the 2000 election is a great example of that as well, because not only did they find a way to hang something, hanging chads, on an election, but they found a way to turn an election in their favor and pull it off. So you are right.
The 2000
That was
election,
the first real push for like we can maneuver things where we can win.
just as a note, the 2000 election, ironically enough, is the first election I ever voted in. Because I'm that
That would have
old.
been. I would have had to have waited for 2004. How old was I? Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that it's,
Yeah, I was 16.
yeah, so I think, for me, I look at it and it's like, okay, you guys got what you want. You got what you wanted. You have total control. You have total power. 49.9% of the population. Or 49.8%. I don't remember what the percentages was. Never mind. Um, the I fucking forgot my point again.
About the election, about 2000.
Oh no, no. Okay, I got it. All right, sorry about that. I had a brain malfunction for a second. Um, the not necessarily the election, but the damn it, it just went away again. I ain't supposed to say it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Also, I'm
Boiled down
mental.
to
I'm
the
on the first
universe said
episode.
no. I think that one of the things that to like bring it back to our original topic, we we have to understand that this isn't the end of the executive orders. This isn't the
Right.
end of the stuff that's happening. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that we'll see a few more over the next week or two. And I know you're all going to be like, yeah, of course we are. He's going to do everything he can to throw more shit out there. Yeah, but they're not the goal. The goal is that paper that I read. No one knew that the Defense Intelligence Agency was doing that because they submitted it quietly to their people. They didn't make a big brandished announcement across the news and everything.
Right.
They're doing the subtle tactics to remove people from positions where where they are challenged to them, in order to create an environment where the echo chamber will be immense, because there won't be people in any position where they can challenge them. And they're doing that on the sly while the big notes are being brought in and challenged against the big executive orders that are announced every freaking day. Probably right now, honestly, if we went online, we could probably find 3 more that he released, because he also releases them in the dead of night. Has anyone else noticed that fact? He doesn't
Yep.
release them middle of the day. He releases them at like 9, 10 o'clock at night,
That's because
so
the
they'll
less
have to wait to
advertising.
the next day for the coverage, because if he does it late at night, you're not going to hear about it for a good 12 hours, and they can act on it the moment that they release it.
Right.
In fact, many of his things say effective immediately, and then the few that don't, their only caveat is give us a response to what you've done within 30 days.
Yeah.
There is no like wait 30 days to implement or implement over the next 6 months. It's effective immediately.
And I think that it's we're at a point now where it's like we can bitch and moan and do all of those things and but like you said, if he's doing the important stuff quietly, like the things that he did, the big things that he did over the last couple of days were only stopped or rolled back because we bitched, because we got up and said, "What the fuck? You can't do that."
Yeah,
You know,
because there was actual pushback.
there was actual pushback, and what I know about Donald Trump is he cares more about his approval ratings
Hmm.
than he does anything else.
Yeah.
And So he's, I do think, I think he intends for these things to happen. I think that, much like a toddler or an infant, you know, when you take it
Just
away from his
trust in
face, he
water.
forgets it exists. And
Mhm.
so he keeps doing this over and over and over again because he'll do something that we all go, oh shit, oh, like, you can't do that. And then he rescinds the order, forgets, and then does something else.
Yeah, he refocuses. The other thing to think about, and this is something to go along with the line of we can't just sit and watch it happen, is have you guys been hearing about people who've said, because I've heard it from a few people now who are against all the executive actions and all of the things that are happening. Have you heard people say, well, I mean, in 4 years, the next president's going to be able to just rescind everything?
Yep.
Do you know
Yeah, I've
how
heard that.
absolutely insane that is? Am I the only one that thinks that that is a terrible mindset?
No,
Because
no, that's a horrible
Mhm.
if
mindset.
he's if he is able to do that, and if people are like, oh well, the next 4 years, the next president's just going to rescind all of his stuff like he did for Biden. Yeah, but here's something that is,
If there's the next 4 years.
yeah, the the next 4 years thing basically boils down to, yeah, they might be able to rescind some of his executive orders, but if they start to get through the courts, if they start to get through Congress and put into law, it's much harder. And then here's the real shitty part: if they continue to fill the courts with conservative justices, then when challenged, when someone says, hey, I'm going to rescind this order, I'm going to stop doing this thing that was tried to push through for over the last 4 years, then the courts will be able to be like, yeah, no, you're not. This is the law of the land now.
Yeah.
So that you can't wait 4 years and think that it's just going to get flopped over by the next person, because it won't. There will be things that will be you could do it for 2/3 of what he does. But how great is the world going to look in 4 years if he pulls us from NATO?
Yeah.
It is
That's not something we
critical
can
right
fix.
now. It is critical for us to pay attention to our local court justices
Mm-hmm.
and get people in the judges' benches that are going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if they do the right thing and they strike these things down, they don't get to the Supreme Court where they're going to get rubber stamped in place. That is
Yeah,
our
and
only line of defense.
even if they do get through because they put it into the appellate courts, well, you've already given the first layer of defense by allowing for the precedent for the original decision that then has to be appealed and overturned. And while things do get overturned and they progress on by a secondary appeal by the people that lost the second round, the likelihood of an appellate court consistently going against an original court's thing is much lower than if it was first pushed through. You have to get it stopped in the first step before it gets pushed farther down. And at least in Missouri, we get to elect, or at least hold in office, judges every, I think it's 6 years.
Yeah. They have 6 year terms.
Every 6 years, we get to say, you did a shit job. I want someone new. Now, here's the fun part about that. Even if we tell them to go fuck off, the governor is the one who gets to put them in the circuit courts. So he gets to put someone in those positions. But if we keep recycling every time that that seat comes open, at the very least, we show keep putting them in, we'll keep kicking them out. They can do some damage, but we're going to never let you have control.
Love you too.
So it is a process that has to begin now. It's a process that has to be pushed now. You cannot wait 4 years. You cannot just sit back and be like, "Oh, it'll be cleared up in 4 years whenever they win again." We didn't think he was going to be able to win this time with the groundswell of everything. Didn't it seem like he had the foothold to be able to win the way that he did? I still don't think it was very legitimate because even they admitted it up on stage, but that's a different discussion. So you can't give up. You can't stop. We have to stand together. We have to unite and push back against every single thing, and not just the overt stuff like the executive orders. People who are in positions within the different departments of the government need to share things they're allowed to share. Don't break the law, because honestly, there are certain things that are not allowed to be shared in different areas. But if it is something that you can make a statement about, make the statement. Make the statement of I have had four of my five colleagues dismissed for no other reason than they voted for Biden.
Yep.
They've done nothing wrong, they have done no other thing, and they have been removed from their positions. This is what's going on. That is retaliation. That is fighting back. There are laws that protect them. They are able to fight back, but they won't be able to if they don't start now, and they won't be able to if it is not made into the light of day so it can get the coverage that it needs. Shine a light into all the shadows, every single one of them. Don't let him sneak shit through, and anytime he tries to bull rush something through, fight it. Make posts, share the thing, go on fucking Red Note, show them that you can still share shit with each other to be able to spread the word as much as you can. Because I forget who it was. There was actually a reporter once that made the point that the only thing that holds the government accountable is bringing to light the actions they do in the dark.
Yep.
And that is what true reporting is. And that's what people have become with all of the ways that we interact on social media. We are the reporters. We are the people who can push forward and bring to light all of these things. For the love of God, TikTok's greatest gift to me was all of the news I was able to find on it. That and the crazy recipes that I've done so many of that I love. But those are the things that I think that we as the people of the United States need to understand. We have to push forward in fighting for the truth, not the fabrications, not the twists. And I don't even just mean Fox or the other fucking
CNN.
places it's CNN, it's even MSNBC, it's all of them. Every one of them will not give you straight news. They will give you here's this spin on it. Here's what my billionaire owner wants me to tell you. That's what you're going to get. You're only going to get that. There's a thing, and we're not sponsored by them, whatever. And I know I'm partial to this because I started using it. Have you guys heard of Grounded News?
Ground News? Yes, it's amazing.
If you have not started looking into Grounded News, you need to get on there because they are a group that compiles all the stories from all over the country, regardless of where they came from, and based upon prior reporting, will label it as leaning conservative, far conservative, centrist, leaning left, far left, and it'll show you comparative stories between what a conservative right-leaning group is saying about an instance and what a left-leaning group is saying about an instance. So you can literally see the side-by-side comparison of how things are being spun. And if you're lucky enough to find things that are more central, you can just get news. You can get information only with zero spin and then make your own determination. It is a fantastic resource. I highly recommend them. If we ever blow up and we get whatever, I would kill to have them as a sponsor. They are something that I actually really believe in because while they might have their own agenda, I'm going to be blunt, I don't know enough about the background of the company to know anything about that. But what I've seen from what they present to the public, they are a fantastic resource, and you absolutely should get on there and read it because they break down so many stories in so many different ways. They collect hundreds of news articles from local regional and national resources and just go, here's what everyone is saying about this. You can search your hometown and find specific news articles, and it'll tell you if your news agency is leaning left, leaning right, or in the center for whatever it is. And you can get local sources. I looked up my local stuff, and they had several articles about stuff that's happened here. I didn't fucking know about. Didn't even know about it. It's a fantastic resource.
All right, so we're about
Just
to
as
get
long
in-
as Ground News doesn't want to manufacture cars, I think we're good. Thanks, Mason.
All right, so before we get out of here, I have does anyone before I do this, does anybody have anybody they need to call to the pulpit?
Jesse Waters, get your fucking dumb ass up here. You piece of shit. I have hated every part about you for so very long. You are a egotistical, self-centered piece of garbage. And I'm gonna just double check. Random thing, just a random thing, but it's something that hit home for me because one of the things that I love to do is I love to go grocery shopping. I really like grocery shopping because it allows me to develop my own random foods. As anybody who actually cares about their family would actually enjoy going grocery shopping because one, you get to manage your own funds. You get to care about how much you're spending on your food. Two, you get to care about what you're going to eat. Three, if you actually give a shit about yourself and your family, you learn how to cook. So why was it that of all random attacks, after she had already lost the election, you decided to go after Vice President Harris and her husband and call him going grocery shopping with his wife unmanly? Your name is Jesse, sir. I just want to say that part. I know several male Jessies, but you are the most effeminate piece of shit I have ever met in my life.
Well, you said Jesse Waters. I thought you were talking about a girl.
Yeah.
Fox News host on the 5.
Oh.
That piece of shit. But yeah, no. Decided to make a whole segment about how unmanly he was being. He spent time with his wife figuring out what they wanted to cook for dinner. Says an awful lot about you, sir, and how probably, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, how unsatisfied your wife is. Where she probably treasures those moments when she goes to the grocery store because she can go walking down the aisle and be free of your egotistical, small-dicked, short-sighted bullshit. You are the most pathetic person I have ever seen on any news agency. You don't do news, you do sensationalist garbage.
Jesse
If
Waters
you
could
if
be a
you
stripper
revered
name.
people, it probably could be.
Stripper name,
You probably revered the idea of getting your name out there like Walter Cronkite. That old man could have beaten you into the ground, and he would have just used his left hand. So shut the fuck up, go back into whatever cesspool you crawled out of, and go hide with so many other incels. And yes, I hate using that term, but you definitely fit the bill. Because we all know your wife has never been satisfied. I'm done.
Or boyfriend, because he,
Or with him, who knows? Maybe he is a stripper, and Jesse Waters is the name that more people know him than we think.
Okay. Tyler, do you have anybody that you would like to call to the pulpit?
Yes. Since I live in the great state of
God.
Oklahoma.
Sorry, I knew we were going the moment you started.
Yeah. We seem to be in a competition once again with Texas on who can be the biggest piece of shit. And so right now, our superintendent is definitely is definitely in the ringer there for that award. And in addition to passing legislation requiring very specific Bibles in the classrooms, from Bible, he has now let the ICE know that they are more than welcome to come in anytime into the classrooms of Oklahoma to deport those children. Isn't that just so nice? I mean, I know if I were a parent, the thing that would really make me happy is a bunch of guys in uniforms that I don't know pulling my child out of class and putting them somewhere that I may never see them again. But
hold on, let me
dear people.
Let me add
What?
that to you. If I were a parent, nothing would make me happier than to know that my child was in class when a bunch of armed guys that I don't know came in, and they took his best friend out of the classroom, and I never saw him again.
And I wonder how that would make me feel as that child psychologically, knowing that at any time, strange men in uniforms could come and take me for some reason if I didn't agree with whatever they wanted to do. What does that sound like?
Hammer, meet nail.
Yeah. I got
For the ones that are slow,
others.
we're talking about forced trauma and traumatic experiences in order to instill a sense of authoritarianism that is all too reminiscent of, or all too familiar with fascism and a lack of any kind of civil liberties.
Yeah. I got two more.
Two more people?
Yeah.
I guess you're gonna have to wait till next week. Well, although I have two people, so you can do one of them.
Okay. Then I'll stick with the easier one. One would only take a quick second, but I'll do the easier one. Just gonna call all the tech bros down. Just all you dumb fucks. Just come on down. Come on down. You've had every one of us eating out of your fucking hand, thinking that you had the solution for AI and we were going to lead the charge on it. You've spent billions of dollars, billions with a B, on how much you needed to invest in the AI revolution. Hi, everyone. I'd like to introduce all of you dumb shits to DeepSeek, a $60 million thing that is better than ChatGPT OpenAI. It does a better job. I've seen side-by-side comparisons. They are equal in their processing power. DeepSeek does a better job explaining things in English from a Chinese company. And they did it in 6 months. They built that in 6 months with $60 million. You've spent billions. And they did it faster and cheaper than you. And we're expected to believe you need $500 billion to do a better job? I want receipts. I want every single one of you bitches to hold up a receipt to show me how much you were spending on all of these things. And because here's the other fun part, and why every one of you lost over $1 trillion fucking dollars in the stock market. It's because they did it with 3-generation-old GPUs. 3-generation-old, and they produced a better result than you. For anyone who understands anything about computing, that's insane. It's insane the quality of their work. And here's the other fun fucking part. Here's the part that blows my mind. It's open source. They
And
released their
OpenAI saying they
code.
stole their technology.
Yeah, right. They're absolutely going to try their best to find a way to say that it was stolen from us. They wrote a different code. We can see it. Release yours. Show the proof. Whoa, that's proprietary. We can't do that. Theirs
But
is
I
better
thought your
than
name was
yours, and you're terrified.
OpenAI.
Yeah, you're terrified. You're terrified because if you tried to prove it in court, you'd have to release in discovery your code for them to review, and then they could tell you where it's different. And here's the other great part: if it isn't, where the fuck is your security? You're supposed to provide the U.S. government and the U.S. military with this AI ability to be able to predictive and resolve things for future combat. You, God damn it, Mason! I cannot look at chat when I'm trying to make a point. You son of a bitch. But they released it so that everyone could see what they did. And if OpenAI goes for them to try to prove that they stole it from them, then all they're going to do is be like, yeah, we stole it from you. And we built our thing on a $63 million foundation that you spent billions on, and we were able to snatch it out from underneath you. That's how open your AI is, which should terrify the American people and the U.S. government. But it won't. They're just going to cry foul and claim espionage. Who the fuck cares if they took it from you? You fucked up. So all you bitches, walk back. I'm sure you're going to raise the price of every fucking piece of thing you can to make up the difference. But fuck you. And I love, by the way, the thing that fucked me up with Mason was North Korea has just released its Max Hedron AI. Oh, I'm saying it for the people who might not look at the chats. North Korea just released its Max Hedron AI, which is fucking brilliant. Thank you for that.
So, you done? That's only gonna take a second. I was like, Tig, no, he's not.
No. My other one is fuck Chuck Schumer, who had to basically restart his chant against everything that Trump's doing. Schumer, just fucking retire. Let someone else take over who has anything that resembles a brain cell. Same with Nancy Pelosi. I'm done.
Please.
All right.
Let's quit giving them cannon fodder.
First people to the congregation, the Anti-Defamation League. All of you, every single one of you, come on down, because I need to know who drafted that tweet that told us that we didn't see what we thought we saw.
Yeah.
The Anti-Defamation League, who went after Kanye West, which, listen, not carrying water for Kanye West, but when he said that Jews control the music industry, y'all had a fucking fit. You lost every vestige of your mind. And now that we see Elon Musk do a sig heel on national television in front of the presidential symbol, you trying to tell us that he made a confusing gesture and that we need to calm down and think rationally about this? If you don't shut the whole fuck up, like how are we supposed to take you seriously now? How are we supposed to take you seriously now? Anytime someone says free Palestine, y'all lose your fucking minds. But Nazism is okay? And while I'm on this train, Scott Jennings, bring your ass over here. Because I'm so tired of you. I'm tired of your smug face. I'm tired of you rolling your eyes anytime a woman speaks. I'm tired of you saying stupid shit. You tried to tell us that that Elon Musk was just throwing his heart to the crowd. And when pushed on that, someone said, "Oh, if that's the case, then you do it." And you wouldn't do it because you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there is footage of Elon Musk throwing his heart in the crowd, and it looks gravely different.
Him doing a heart over the heart on his shirt and passing that to the crowd was this type of motion, not what he did in front of that symbol. And here's the other fun part. Let's roll it back for 2 seconds. You cannot make that claim without looking back at his past and seeing where he came from, other statements that he's made, and other opinions that he's had about stuff, and not make the connections. You cannot do that. This isn't some random, like somebody saying, "My heart goes out to you," and him throwing his hand up. When we've seen him do it before, and him being autistic, by the way, fuck you. I have autism. I am somewhere on the spectrum, probably way down the line, because obviously I can have these type of communications with people. But I also don't know when to shut the fuck up, so I have that problem for me. But don't use that as an excuse. Don't belittle all of the people who actually suffer from shit like that. I'm on that spectrum. Other people are on that spectrum. Every one of us knows that doing that is a fucking mistake. No matter how socially inept we are, we don't look at that and be like, "I should probably do this in front of the presidential symbol." Are you fucking stupid?
Also,
Don't use that. Fuck you.
Also, if you really watch that clip again, and I've watched it several times, he's not talking to the crowd. He is pledging his fealty to the president. It is abundantly clear. Listen to the exact words that he says. When he says, "My heart goes to you," he's not talking about the crowd. Because the entire speech prior to that was how he owed everything to Donald Trump.
Yep.
So
The lockstep in front and back was actually a ritual.
So to get to my point,
Yeah, sorry. We derailed you a little bit.
and the way that you, Scott Jennings, also talked to black women on that stage, to the host, and the smug tone you take, you're gonna have to cut that out. Like real, like you, because I'm gonna come to. Nope, I'm not gonna say that on the YouTubes.
Nope, can't do that on the YouTubes.
But we see it and know that we know you.
Mm-hmm.
And so just know that we know you and we see it. And CNN, y'all can bring y'all asses out here too because you keep bringing them on.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did to Jim Acosta, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And that was all because Donald Trump didn't like him. And I can't say things on the YouTubes, but just know I'm thinking them.
Well, just looking at the overview, when you Google Scott Jennings, it says that he worked in the George W. Bush administration, has been described as an advisor to Senator Mitch McConnell. That tells you everything right there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you're advising to Senator Palpatine, then I'm sorry, you're a Sith.
Not Senator Palpatine. That is everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, with that, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's episode because we're 16 minutes past what I said. But we don't, we got three long.
That's good for us.
That's what we do. But my name is JB. You can find me on Blue Sky at JB3205. But understand that sometimes it gets spicy over there. If you know what, if you know, you know. You can also find me. You find me on Facebook at JB Alliance, and the
Where it
Queer
doesn't
and
get
Present Danger
spicy.
does have its own page, so make sure you look at check Queer and Present Danger on Facebook to get the latest information, and hit that like and subscribe button. Although I hate saying that, but do it.
Pound it
Pound
hard.
it hard. That's a different. That's a different podcast.
That's next Wednesday.
We've been talking about the politics so much, we might as well make sure we get the queer in there.
Not pound it. I'm done with you. Oh, if you could tell, I would be blushing, but you can't. So, Tyler.
Um,
What you doing?
Jesus Christ, Mason.
yeah. So
Motherfucker.
and just to recap, like whenever we decided on the name of this program, it was intentional. When we say queer and present danger, we understood the assignment. We knew what was coming. We tried to warn you, and now we're just saying I told you so. But you can take it with a grain of salt, or you can actually do some fucking research.
Someone need to put
And
that salt in your eye.
but regardless, you need to get up out of the chair and get vocal, because otherwise you might as well not be alive.
Yeah.
In the sense of, eventually you may get unalived by this administration. So sorry.
Well, that was
Yeah.
a happy note to end that. Tyler, where can the people find you?
Yeah, let's be clear. We're not saying we're gonna unalive you.
Yeah.
We're saying that these people that are in power, that control all the cards right now, decide
They're,
if you live or die.
yep.
Again, Tyler.
Like my family is trying to decide if they're going to have jobs due to Medicaid not being included on that.
Tyler, he's trying to get you to sign up.
Sorry. We never did the "How are you today?"
We did it, and we are sharing it.
We didn't do the check-in. Yeah, so I am Tyler Thulin. You can find me on here at Tyler Thulin, on Instagram at I am Tyler Thulin, on TikTok as Tyler Thulin. I'm a singer-songwriter. I make music, not usually political, but who knows, that might change. And yeah, and then I also sometimes play games, because we all need to escape reality every once in a while, so we don't lose our minds any more than they've already been lost. Yeah, and I'm Diatomic Anemone there. So yeah, that's me. Rant over.
And what about you, Tig?
Okay, my turn to rant.
I will hit the
No,
button.
I'm Tig Hearn. I'm at Tig Hearn 1, TIGHEARN, the number 1 on most of my socials. I am not a huge poster on social media. You ain't gotta learn about my life. It's my life. But I am trying my best to help push forward all of these ideas that we need to fight back. I have a blog. First one's actually scheduled to come out in about 2 days. My next update. shadowstolight.com. It is shadows, the number 2, light.com. It is basically a blog about my journey into discovering more about myself, accepting myself, and realizing that I am and always have been a part of the LGBT community, and dealing with my mental health through that journey. So it is all about trying to start talking about mental health so that way we all can bring it out into the light and share it with each other, because we are all struggling with mental health every day of our lives, and for the next few years, probably more so than ever. Know that whenever I keep mentioning the idea of shining a light into the shadows, I mean in every aspect of your life. Do it for yourself, do it for your own personal benefit so that you can make it through this. Realize there's community around you, and utilize that community to help shine the light against everything that's coming forward from this administration and from the forces at work for their own benefit, not yours. But yeah, that's me. I am also on the D&D stuff with the rest of the group, and know that we love you. And despite how much we curse on this podcast, we are always trying to just express our feelings as truthfully as we can, because some people just need a giant fuck you.
And speaking of the podcast, the D&D that we all play together, when we're not here doing Queer and Present Danger, then we're over on Twitch on the So Maddie Games channel, where we're playing Cyberqueer. That is a D&D podcast that I am the DM in, and these are some of our players. It is so much fun to just be doing that. It's a queer-coded D&D game, and listen, these people are wild. Let's just say that.
I play a Yasamar.
And on that note, we are going to go ahead and end it for tonight. Once again, we love you guys. We're here, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
This is how you do it.
Our heart goes out to you.
Just like this. This is, oh, he's never had that pop up before.
Good night, guys.